In today's video, we're going to be replacing the thermostat on my 1997 new generation Saab 900. In addition to the new thermostat and associated with that job, there is a washer we're going to be replacing as well. We'll show that later in the video. And we're also going to be doing a coolant flush because since taking ownership of this car, I haven't done a coolant flush. I don't know the last time one was done. The coolant looks a little bit gross, so we're just gonna do a complete flush and get some fresh fluid in there. Let's get started. Right here are the two parts I'm going to be replacing. This Motorrad thermostat, there's the part number right there, was included by the previous owner with the sale. Reason being, and real quick, here is the part number for that water pump inlet O-ring we're going to be replacing as well. Reason why this was included, and the reason why I'm even replacing this, is because the car, when it's colder out, has trouble kind of keeping temperature. It takes a very long time to even get up to temperature, or it just won't get up to temperature, period, or it'll get up to temperature and then drop back down. So I'm thinking the thermostat is getting stuck and not properly doing its job. So we're first going to get started with draining the coolant. So I'm going to unscrew our coolant cap here, and we need to get under the car to do the radiator drain. All right, it's time to drain the coolant. Now, I have tried for some time to drain the coolant using the drain plug on the radiator. I got it about halfway loose to where it started to slowly drip and the plug started to break. So I was able to tighten it without fully breaking it. So we're gonna give up on that method and come over to here. And I think we're just gonna undo this lower radiator hose. Way down in there, right in the middle of the screen, is our lower radiator hose. So I just have a 7mm on a bunch of extensions. I'm gonna loosen that and hopefully that'll come off relatively easily. In order to avoid the car making a huge mess, I'm just gonna let it drain like this for a while, even though it's a little bit slower. So I would definitely recommend just removing this radiator hose for draining your coolant. It's a little bit messier than using the drain plug, but if you have an original radiator or old radiator, that's probably going to break like mine did. So now we can start tackling our actual thermostat replacement. So the thermostat is located right down here. So in order to get access to that, as you can see, it's pretty accessible already, but we need to first remove this throttle body hose, or pipe, I should say, and we'll have a couple things we need to undo once we have that off. There are two 10mm underneath the metal pipe here that hold it to the engine. This wants you to remove this throttle body preheating hose. This hose right here that feeds down here, and it's that one right there. I don't know if we need to remove that per se, because you just have one little bolt right here. It looks like there should be two. Mine only has one that holds that pipe to the thermostat, just as a support, I suppose. It doesn't actually go into the thermostat. So I'm going to pull off this bolt next, and we'll see what else we need to undo. As part of this job, WIS wants you to undo another line, the line that feeds over to the water pump, and that's why I got that new O-ring. However, I'm not sure I need to do that. So with that in mind, I'm going to just try to remove the thermostat itself and see what happens. So in order to do that, I'll put a diagram on the screen. There are two bolts for the thermostat. There's one in this top corner, kind of away from where the camera and myself are. And there's one on this bottom corner, which is closer to where myself and the camera are. And that should detach the housing from the engine. I'm gonna lose some more coolant when I pull this off, so just to avoid making a gigantic mess, I'm going to try to get some paper towels under this area. Okay, and there's our housing. We did not make much of a mess at all with that. That's good. This thermostat is kind of stuck in here, so I'm just kind of using a screwdriver to pry it against itself. It kind of worked to give me the force I need to get that out. And look at that, we didn't make a mess at all. Important note on the thermostat, this is the old one right here. This needs to be sitting at 12 o'clock when you install your new thermostat. So it needs to be right at the top there. It looks like maybe I was starting to, or it was leaking possibly right there. There is a lot of crap sitting down there on the transmission. So possible that was coolant. But I'm gonna get these surfaces cleaned up now, both the housing side as well as the block side or the head side. And then we can install our new thermostat. If you're following WIS, you can skip a couple steps in WIS. It looks like I was able to do that without removing that pipe that goes to the water pump that has this O-ring. So I'll just keep this to have as a spare or eventually pass it off to the new owner. All right, so that is all cleaned up and good to go. Just used a razor blade. It really wasn't too bad. It's mainly just like old coolant goop that needs to be cleaned up. So again, remember when installing this in the car, this little pin needs to be at 12 o'clock. It's going to go in like this. So the spring side is going to go into the head. I ended up detaching this from the coolant hose so I could clean it better. So I think for installation, it'll be a little bit easier having that hose out of the way. Might be hard to see on camera, but I'm using a ratcheting 13 wrench for this back bolt. You could probably get to it a little bit easier if you remove some extra stuff. It also looks like a ratchet with like a 6-inch extension works as well. Next, I'll reattach the bolt. Again, there should be two, but I only have one bolt that holds the little bracket for the throttle body preheating hose. Now I will reattach the coolant hose. Next is our throttle body intake pipe. This is actually connecting in 4 different places, down to the intercooler, the throttle body, the bypass valve, and then also the bracket on the cylinder head. Now this whole time I've had the lower radiator hose off the radiator just in case there's any last coolant dropping down. So I'm going to reattach that now and kind of clean up that area. And we'll be ready to fill it and test it out. So we're ready to fill the car. I did a bit of research online. I got mixed answers. Of course, when you generally drain the coolant in your car, whether it's green, orange, red, purple, whatever it may be, you generally want to put the same fluid back in. So this coolant, as you saw, was green. So I'm going to be putting green Prestone back into this car. So let's get it done. A couple of things to note as I begin pouring the coolant in. You'll see that I'm starting with distilled water. If you didn't know this, when you go to buy coolant, you'll see there's concentrate and there's pre-diluted coolant. I always recommend buying the concentrate because it's about $2 more and you get full concentrated coolant. So you're getting twice the amount of coolant for only a couple dollars more. And then you can just buy a gallon of distilled water like this and dilute it yourself. And the second thing worth mentioning as well is the coolant capacity of this system is about 2 1/4 gallons. So I have 2 gallons of distilled water, a gallon of coolant. Obviously we didn't get all 2 1/4 gallons out. I imagine it's gonna take about 2 gallons of coolant. So I'm gonna start by putting in about 3/4 of a gallon of water, 3/4 of a gallon of coolant. And then we'll start the car once we see there's coolant in the tank, and we'll let it air bleed by leaving the cap off while the car is running until that thermostat opens up and starts circulating coolant through the entire car. The goal here is to let the car run until it's up to temperature. Wait till the thermostat opens, circulates all the coolant through the car. The air will naturally come up through the open cap and we can add coolant as needed until it's at the level that it needs to be at. Car's been running about 20 minutes. We are up to temperature, just kind of topping off the coolant as needed. So I'm gonna put some text on the screen to see if this resolved the cold weather driving issue. I'll make sure to drive it to work this coming week. You can see it's all up to temperature, everything's fine. We've got no leaks underneath. So I'm going to call this a successful fix. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and I'll see y'all in the next one.